Okay, so I'm doing Sheet Dwayne Bay. I'm still in the gym. Someone is in the other room. There's a bicycling room here. I don't know if you can't see. I don't want it to cut off. But the bicycling room is here, and it says yoga, also a yoga room. So I don't think there's a class. I think there's only one person in there. I thought it was a class. But I think there's only one person. I think it's it looked to be like an African American male. I could be wrong. I don't think anyone's in there, but yeah, it's the African American male. He's listening. I definitely think he's listening to live music because the black African American accent female, the sound the DJ. Um, I was hearing her say Renee. Now, before I knew that we were among those that had the telepathic code, I'm not saying she does. Could be somebody else named Renee that she's talking about. Not sworn, I affirm. I affirm she was saying Renee. Um, I was skeptical about saying things like that because I would hear this um, in these last few years from the black Negro males and females or others that listen to this R&B rap songs or whatever, and the radio would start saying my name or trying to engage that way. So this is another form of force engaging. Because when you force engage, so if you're a lab freak, if you're a lab freak, a humanoid AI lab freak, and you have been privy to zone in and tune in to people where it's young teenage dance clubs, young teenage school dances, elementary school dance music, and you are privy to actually massage their genitals, cause them to get off, cause the children to get off, the teenagers to feel hot, and the parents 40, 45 years ago, I'm going to say 20, 35 years ago, or 40 years ago, didn't know what was going on with their child because the child was sexual. These children are really sexual. And so the psychologists were giving them all these book reasons of why their child might be so sexual. Is the father in the home? Single parent households, drugs, tampering with drugs, alcohol, going to NA and AA classes, all these book reasons, these corrupt psychologists and doctors who knew, not all knew, who knew why children were having underage sex. Because these lab freaks were force engaging and causing the boys to have erections, causing the little girls to have secretions and have energy, that thought and energy to want to have sex. So unfortunately, the Black Negro community, which I was in that status too, African American Black Negro is the same, had the highest rate of single parent homes, the highest rate of STDs, the highest rate of many so-called illnesses or deaths, according to other so-called ethnic groups. So this shows how much the Black Negro lab freak that's humanoid AI or other lab freaks really care about the community of African Americans or those Moors who are out of status. They don't care. They never cared. But now they try to flip it as though it's a normality. It's a normality for them to force engage their presence upon someone. So you got the same energy of, this is why I have had issues with some of them here. Same energy of force engaging, trying to rape, because they were raping then. They were just doing it in a manner through that science of the telepathic code. Molestation, they were doing it with the science of the telepathic code. They were doing it in other ways, but now they try to normalize it so they can try to do it in the public and say, oh, this is how it is everywhere. They are low-life criminals.
And not everyone here that I've had issues with, I'm not saying they all have the telepathic code.
But Sheet Dwayne Baffour, Moors, non-Moors, you know exactly who I'm talking about. And what I'm talking about.
And that includes the Latino ethnic group too. It was the Black Negro or the Latino ethnic group. High rate of AIDS, high rate of STDs, high rate of single parent households, high rate of everything that caused death. Why is that? But yet now they care, the humanoid AI and lab freaks care so much. They even want to say someone's racist because they know that a program has been set in place. It is May the 28th, 2025. Sheet the Wayne Buffalo Bay. Once again, it's May 28th, 2025. It is going on, looks like possibly, because I stopped, it's probably about 9, a little bit after 9 now. I'm going up to 55 pounds and 25 kgs. And what's interesting is the lab freaks here in Annapolis are so criminal. They try to continue to implement a program in thinking that someone who have higher thoughts don't get what the lab freaks are trying to do. Isn't that amazing? They trust the program of mind so much that they think a more or natural beings who see the truth of how criminal, low life, and filthy their spirits are, really they're going to have a chance to have some form of connection with them willingly. They really believe in the programs. Lab freaks. So, Sheet the Wayne Buffalo Bay. I know a lot of people are going to remember what I say. Because this thing lab freak's going to be begging for help one day. Because once again, they believe in the program so much. They don't think people are going to wake up enough to think about all that they have done to participate in the death and bloodshed of citizens or people or beings, human beings, some would say, call those that are inhabitants of the earth, all globally, and how much killing through sickness, forced engaging, mental illness they have participated in. They really they don't think that enough people will wake up where justice will handle them only in a manner that cosmic laws can do. So, um, cosmic law is great, and I'm so thankful and grateful to see that. And I apologize, Dwayne. I was just really irritated because it's truly amazing how filthy, nasty these spirits are, and to demonstrate how bold they are in believing in the programs. I'm going to try to do 45 more, and this time I'm going to focus. This once again, anyway. Now I can tell me forced engaged. I want to chill out because I think I said what needed to be said.
Ma'am, I know you have your beliefs, but when other of us are in here working out, I wish you would just do
You
it.
came in as I was talking.
Excuse me?
You came in as I was talking. You wanted
You
to
know
hear
what?
what I'm
I'm entitled to this 100%.
Okay, next time if you tell me, I will say, okay, no problem. But you didn't say anything, so that's why I kept talking.
Well,
because you came in as
because
I was
you're
talking.
offending a lot of people by doing that.
There's nobody.
And you know
in
what?
there.
You think you know a lot, but you really don't.
Are you on drugs?
Hell no.
Oh, a lot of lab freaks on drugs. You know, they say, I need help, doctor. You know, in Annapolis, they can go get marijuana to help them cope.
So, because Maryland, they can get marijuana to help them cope. And so she came in as I was talking and noticed the music as I said that I was hearing my name. The guy could not hear me. He had the music up loud in there, but he turned off the music as I spoke about hearing my name. And then she came in as I was talking about hearing my name through the radio. And then when she came in, she didn't say, "Can you lower your voice" or anything. Okay. So I'm giving you a sequence of events. In Annapolis, many people have different reasons of why. They might have cancer. That could be reason. Other reasons why they need to get high. But I think because of what they experienced here with the military, Navy, Army, that's unnaturalized, police, veterans, unnaturalized, and so forth, this is why people are not able to cope. And then you have being among lab freaks, literally lab freaks. She talking about I'm offending. Who am I offending? I I didn't call her lab freak, but when she behaved that way, when I know the sequence of events, then that it makes sense. And I noticed as I was pumping my legs, at the same time she was lifting the weights. So when I went down, she lifted her weight up at the same time. For like the first session and then the second session. If she came in and said, "Can you lower your voice?" I was like, "Okay, no problem." But she came in after the guy started to turn off the radio. Um, he looked to be possibly, I thought, Latino, um, and he was listening to R&B, hip hop music, and then that's when as she came in right before he turned it off, and and as I was speaking about hearing my name being called through the radio. Okay, so um, now if I'm not talking, if you're not a lab freak, if you're not raping, if you're not molesting, why are you offended? So she didn't come in and say, "Could you just not speak so loud?" She came in and started pumping her weights as I moved my leg at the same time as I was doing the leg press. Okay, and so that's all I can tell you. If you, I'm not saying she has a telepathic code, but those that have the telepathic code, they know what that telepathic code can allow someone to do. I'm not saying she does, especially if they're trying to force and invade the body sheath. I'm not saying she did that, but I'm just telling you that's exactly what was happening. I don't even know if she lived here. She did not say, "Can you not speak about it?" She said it's offending a lot of people. If you're not trying to rape, if you're not trying to force engage, if you're not a lab freak, if you're not humanoid AI, you're not trying to molest, why are you offended? If you are a naturalized United States military person from the Navy, Army, you're naturalized police, and you have affirmed or taken an oath to uphold laws of freedom, why would you be offended? Anyway, the guy that was there was an African American male, and then the guy that was in there with the loud music playing R&B, rap, a little like live because I don't know who else. She could have been talking. The DJ could have been talking to someone else named Renee. As I started to talk about it, that's when for whatever reason stopped. So now I'm on the elliptical. I'm gonna just keep this on. May the 28th, 2025. And one of the things I realized in Annapolis, people kept saying, "Shut up." So when you're dealing with sex trafficking, okay, humanoid AI that's involved in sex trafficking, money laundering, and other forms of criminal activities, the last thing you want someone to do is talk about it, okay? What I realize is to always implement rationality. So if someone was to say, could you lower your voice? I'm trying to exercise too, because there was only one other person here, because the other two that were here, they left before I got off the treadmill. So she came in. I thought one of the other person, the African American guy that was here, was in there, but it was actually a Latino, looked to be playing R&B, hip hop music. So she came in afterwards, but no one else was in here but me, and then the guy that was in the yoga room. So if you're trying to sex traffic, or you're trying to be a part of some type of initiation, so lab freak and those that are trying to initiate, that keep saying 3 or whatever, the last thing they want you to do is talk about any type of form of molestation or rape. Because if you willingly allow yourself to be subjugated, you are accepting their sick, filthy thoughts and behavior of initiation. That's what I was like, so many here in Annapolis, pale skins or whatever, keep saying, that's us. Because if they keep saying that's us, then they're trying to prevent their acts, their criminal acts and behavior from being in the frequency of criminal acts. So they're trying to, what I would say, a way of not having justice come upon them. So the lab freaks who are trying to implement or do some form of witchcraft, using a thought, that's why they keep saying that's us. Witchcraft. Three, whatever. Implying 33 Freemasons, whatever. Lab freaks. And the black male, never mind. He was just, when I came in, he was just on his phone. He had a phone and he was just sitting there on his phone. I don't know if he had exercised early or not. I was on the treadmill, so I couldn't see behind me. But when I came in, a pale skin was on. These are only descriptions. I don't know if they have a nationality. Was on one treadmill, and the black male was sitting down on his cell phone. I'm gonna stop there. I use that thought, and go to the next. I'm gonna probably do chest press. It's May the 28th, 2025. So once again, I mean, if she's not one of the ones that's in my room, my apartment, because with making noise, using a lab freak, stalking the apartment, part of the lab freak bird community that rapes, obviously are used as weapons, mental weapons, not in sex trafficking, then why is she offended? And who is she talking about? If you are offended, then you must be talking about, so you must be a part of that community. It's just as simple as that. It's just like blacks. If you are, you can be more and out of that status here in Annapolis as an African American. But if you're a black Negro, that's a part of that community, that is a part of the reason why I had to call the EEOC, the reason why I had to call the police, the reason why I had to document in the first place, then yes, you're going to be offended because you are part of that community that's trying to implement sex trafficking, money laundering, human transformation, and so forth, rape.